Namaskar, everybody. Namaste, Hari Om Priyanka ji. Namaste, everyone. We will now continue. Let us begin with the invocation. Vedayai, Vedarupayai, Vedantayai, Namo Namaha. Gunadosha Vivirjinyai, Gunadipyai, Namo Namaha. Sura Sura Sevita Pada Pankaja. करे विराजत कमनीय पुस्तिका विरिञ्च पत्नी कमलासन स्थिता सरस्वती नृत्यतु वाचे मे सदा. Hari Om. Namaskar. Yes. So can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? As usual, I mean, I think this is the first workshop, I think. So I will just say, everyone, please, we will have a recollection in every session. So maybe 5 minutes, we will try to recollect and paste together what we have covered. So anybody, please feel free to unmute. Anything you can recollect.
Talked about concealment of the essence of the Vedas.
Yes, Rachna ji, please tell me.
We talked about the concealment of the true essence of the Vedas, and we talked about Saraswati as being the one goddess whose perception has not changed from the Rig Veda to the present times. She still is the same. She still has the same role, that is the inspiration that she provides. And
Yes, ji.
we talked about the truth being different to different people, because maybe just like um in the darkness, even if there is a rope, our mind has the power to change that into uh, thinking
But
about it as a
truth is not a
smoke.
matter of perspective, no ji? But Rachna ji, truth is not a
It's
matter of perspective,
it's
no?
not a matter of perspective, but different people see it in different ways.
Ji,
Like
ji,
maybe
absolutely.
the elephant, if there is an elephant, some may touch the leg, some may touch
Ah,
the tail, some may think, I mean, of different, like it's
yes.
a tree stump, it's a snake, it's a rope, it's so many different things. But actually, when the veil comes off, then it is only one.
Yeah, yeah. So that is like there's a phrase in Sanskrit, Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti. One truth is told many ways. But then the object, one second, there's some echo. Yeah, yes. So this one truth is told many ways by the wise, but objective truths are different. But the integral truth is ultimately the same for everyone. Means what is the integral truth will not change. And that was the integral truth that was hidden in the Vedas. It was hidden behind the symbol of Agni, behind the symbol of Varun, Mitra, Saraswati, Bhaga, Ela, all of these. Like there is Sarama. Sarama is considered to be a divine goddess or the hound of the heavens. What is her symbolism then? Somebody would say, why would anybody worship? What is her role? She is known to be in the dark caves. Now, what are these caves? Can anybody guess what could be the reference?
Shadows,
Or would it be actual
shadows,
physical case? Yes,
our
Krishna ji?
shadows, our shadows.
Are shadows. Okay. Shadows in the sense?
In the sense where we hide our the things that are not so right in us, or we
Okay.
feel that something is not good or up to the truth. It's not the truth. The darkness
Yeah.
inside of us.
So you can call them the subconscient, isn't it? The
Yes.
subconscient caves. And that is her role. She goes deep into those caves, and in those caves of darkness, she summons the light. Now, what happens is sometimes these Vedas look very, very far away from us because we have not had that education where we will get the opportunity to study the root words, the philology, the sound, what is the entire Vyakarana. All of this is something which we have not been given to. So we feel, how do we connect? How do we connect? But the Vedas talk about one highest truth, isn't it? And that truth is present everywhere. So if we try to connect, in the Gita also there is a verse which Krishna says that somebody who has got a self-realization, such a person can get access to the Vedas also. So this is something. Now, when we look at symbolisms, we wanted to first, we were going to cover these symbolism of Ma Saraswati. Why Ma Saraswati? We will understand when we look at what Sri Aurobindo has described as the four powers of the mother, and Maha Saraswati is considered to be closest to the human plane. There are four powers of the divine goddess. One is the supreme Maheshwari, then there is the next one after Maheshwari, which is Mahakali. Then there is Mahalakshmi, and there is Mahasaraswati. So Mahasaraswati is actually closest to the human plane. Why is it closest? Why is she closest? Why is that power so close? That is something we will look at later. But before that, why not look at a sukta of the Veda? Because we will try to understand what the great rishis conceived in the Vedic times. And I think as Rachnaji perfectly summarized also that symbolism it is actually in the Vedas, it has remained. It has been carried. Maybe we differently, we worship the Ma Saraswati. Maybe now we have a different set of elaborate mantras that we chant and everything. But what was it in the Rig Vedic time? That is something we will look at it. Before we look at it, I would like to just share an illustration. So I would just ask everyone to look at that illustration and then probably give me what you are feeling after looking at the illustration. Because again, it's something which imagery is everything. If we can connect with the imagery of the Vedas. Yes, yes. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah, can someone just tell me what you see here? There are two images, one on the left and another on the right.
Yeah.
Any similarity, any difference? Yes. And everyone, just whatever you can think of, whatever comes to mind.
The river indicates the flow of knowledge.
Okay, ji, yes, I'm just unable to see the screen. Yeah, who is speaking? Yes,
Ashwini, Guruji.
Ashwini ji. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So the river is
This
indicating the flow of knowledge.
goddess,
Okay,
yeah, with the light and background, it indicates the flow
hmm.
of water, indicates the flow of knowledge.
Okay, yes. And how is that river flowing? Is it going very slowly or it's having a rush
It's in a
in the
rush.
moment?
Rush.
It's in a rush, isn't it? Ji?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's like, and different sides also it is receiving waters from different places. And they're all moving somewhere. So this is one thing we also see. It is like you call. Why did you call it goddess ji, Ashwini ji?
Goddess, it indicates Sarma Saraswati.
It indicates Ma Saraswati. You feel looking at that image and looking at that light,
And
that
river also,
Surya.
a river, it's also, we call as
Okay.
Ma. It's, yeah.
Yes, yes. In Bharat, we have called rivers mothers only. Many times in I think traditional homes when children take bath, Ganga, Chemuna, Kaveri, Godavari, Saraswati, again Saraswati, and Har Har Gange. That is how the elders teach them to take baths. So at that time, you try to do the smaran of the rivers because rivers are not just, we understand, they're not just rivers of physical self,
It
physical river. There's something more.
yeah, it
Yes,
washes
please.
all
Yes,
our
Ashwini.
sin and
Yes, yes. So, okay,
karma.
Ashwini ji has shared her view. Yes, yes. All right, ji.
And next
So,
picture,
anything
I'm
else you would
not
like to add?
sure. It is the enlightenment,
Yeah.
that sunshine, its background. So it is the enlightenment of that picture.
The other
This
picture, is
with
it
the
the one with the
horse.
horse you're describing it?
Yeah, yes. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I just
I, yeah. It looks something to do with enlightenment. And how is the horse?
horse. It's jumping. I think it's jumping
Okay.
across the all our
Winged.
sin and
Okay.
unwanted
So it
karmas.
is looking like it is jumping. Okay. It looks like it is jumping over something, but something special about the horse. What is
It's also
visible?
flying. It is winged horse. Yeah, it's also
It's a winged
flying.
horse. Okay. All right. Ashwini ji. I think I'll move now to Reshma ji, what she is saying. Yes, Reshma
Yeah,
ji.
sure.
Yes, ji.
Okay, so what I would like to add to what Ashwini just said. One, of course, there is a water which is flowing, indicating progress, according to me, and there is
Okay.
also light. And if you see, observe both
Hmm.
the pictures. Well, I'm talking of
Hmm.
commonalities, although there are differences. That there is certainly
Yeah.
presence of light, and that too above. I mean, light is
Hmm.
radiating from above, and that,
Yeah.
according to me, indicates something which is giving and something which is always there. It is omnipresent, the light, and that
Okay.
is something which is kind of leading to this progress. And both the
Hmm.
figures which are being shown here, to the left, horse with the wing, according to me, indicates action and trying to reach to a particular objective with
Yeah.
absolute.
So what is the horse standing? Where is the horse? Where is the base of the horse?
I know it is standing on one part of a cliff,
Okay.
of a
It's
no, mountain or a cliff of a
okay.
river.
And
And
how is that? There are those rocks, you can see them, isn't it?
yeah, of a rock.
They're
Yeah,
cracked.
one part of cracked rock, a huge cracked rock.
Yeah, cracked rock. So
Yeah.
from the cracks, does it appear that the water is gushing out of the cracks, or it is going from
Yes,
somewhere else?
it is appearing that it is crushing from the rock and then going somewhere
Okay.
else.
All right. Yeah. All right. Fine. Yes, Reshma ji. Anybody else would like to add something more about the rock, about the horse? Yes, Raghunandan ji.
Would it, I mean, it could also represent, that our ignorance is being washed away,
Okay. All
and
right. So
the
I think
the
Ashwini ji had
knowledge
told
the
something
knowledge
about
which
that.
comes from it helps us to reach enlightenment at some point.
Okay. Right, sir. All right, sir. That is also one important point. That is why we worship Ma Ganga also for the same reason.
Yeah.
Yes. Namami
Uh,
Gange. Yes, Reshma
can
ji.
I add one more point
Okay,
before
Reshma ji
we
wants
move
to
to
add
Veda?
something. Okay, Reshma
Just
ji.
to
Yes,
add
please.
one point that I see one difference in both the pictures, that in second one the figure is comparatively very calm and kind of poised, having its own
Okay.
aim to go, a poised aim to
Hmm.
go and progress further. Whereas in the first one, the figure which is horse is like it is absolutely uh, in action to the progress. I mean,
Okay.
it probably doesn't know
Right.
what is going to
Yes.
come next, but the flight is very, very, zealous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes. So
Didi,
now,
Didi,
anybody else would like? Yes, Poonam ji. Namaste.
Namaste.
Yes, ji. Yes, ji. Yes, you are describing it, ji?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay,
Sorry.
fine. Yes. Who else? No, no problem. No problem. Anybody wants to?
Uh,
Yes, Dr. Vaishali ji. Yes, please.
the winged horse, it looks like in Greek mythology, it is Pegasus.
Okay, yes. So in the
Who
Greek mythology also there is a winged horse, Pegasus. Yes, something about it. Can you say anything about it? Whatever you know, little bit.
But I think he's a son of, in Greek mythology, his father is, I think, Poseidon, god of
Okay,
horses.
but this was not this, yeah, but this, yes, it was a gift. It was a gift
Uh,
from the divine.
in this
And
picture, it looks like that broken rock represent the darkness, or
okay,
and the water gushing through it is, when we acquire knowledge, it breaks away the darkness, like that.
okay, okay, all right. Now, do you think people worship this horse or the river coming out from that?
Uh, I
Not
don't think so. Like
really.
in second picture, it looks like that Ma Saraswati, or what, river, Ma river is there. That
Okay,
could be a worship, but this looks like aggressive.
okay, it
And
looks a little aggressive, maybe, is
yeah,
what that is a perspective Dr. Vaishali has shared. Okay, Raghunandanji wants to add something. Is it so?
Brahmaputra is also aggressive.
Yeah,
Just,
Brahmaputra.
just
Even
to
this
put it
other
that
river,
way.
somebody may say that this river is also moving at a quite an aggressive pace.
Aggressive
The
pace.
force. Yeah. Now, I'll
I
just tell
don't.
you one thing very interesting, that the picture on the left of the winged horse, the Pegasus, it is from the Greek mythology, and in the right, it is from the Vedic times. Now, in the Vedic times, for Saraswati, what do you think is the symbolism of Saraswati symbolizes?
Knowledge?
Knowledge and inspiration, isn't it?
learning, yeah.
Inspiration. We call upon, she's the Devi. We do a prarthana, like the prayer was made that Saraswati Nrityatu Vachime Sada. The prayer is, hey Saraswati Mother, please dance at the tip of my tongue. That is the Upasana, a person who worships Saraswati asks, give me knowledge, give me wisdom. So that is the, we can say, meaning of Ma Saraswati. But now, in the Greek mythology also, poets worship this particular horse. The inspiration, it is a source of inspiration. If you look at the story of this horse, it is very similar. This horse was a gift from the gods. This horse descends on earth, and where this horse puts its hoof, it is at the base of a mountain which is called the Helicon Mountain. And on that mountain, that rock where the hoof strikes, and from there a river starts flowing. So that river, the flow of a river from the rock, it is like breaking what we call the inconscience. It is like what we can say breaking
Jad.
barriers, and then the flow appears. And that is why this is worshipped. And Mother Saraswati also does the same thing. She breaks barriers on the inside. We want to learn something new. Many times what happens, we have our own preconceived notions. We have thoughts that we cannot learn something, or this is beyond me. I cannot understand it. And then that barrier has to be broken, and that is how it is happened. It happens by the grace. And so this is something similar with the symbolism of Ma Saraswati. There was a symbolism here also of the Pegasus. Sarasa Vahati iti Saraswati. She moves so freely. And Sri Aurobindo identified even symbolisms in how the root word pajas is similar for Pegasus, is again having a similarity and philological roots. So we'll just stop here, and we'll now enter into what is the one Vedic Sukta. Now, one thing what many people feel, why, what authority does Sri Aurobindo have to comment on the Vedas? He did not go to his Gurukul. His father wanted him to not be connected at all with anything in ancient Indian spiritual tradition. But even before reading the Vedas, he started getting Anubhava, experiences of the various devas of the Rigveda. And it was through his experience that he understood, and then he received a divine wisdom directly in the Alipur prison. That gave him the knowledge of Sanskrit roots and so many other aspects which are called, but which are, we can say, people today also don't understand how did he receive it. It is still a mystic secret, just like how the Vedic rishis also. The Vedic rishis had an inspiration. It was not just a poetic conception of some idea or imagination. It was actual experience. It was an experience that was lived. And what did the Vedic rishis want? They wanted their descendants to also experience it the same way, not just maybe look at this and worship it, but not experience it yourself. So now we enter into what is the Ma Saraswati or the Vedic Saraswati. We will look at one sukta, which is the in the seventh mandala. It was composed by Vasishtha Rishi. Means, if you see, the very meaning of Saraswati itself
This is
is
the Rig Veda you're talking about.
yes,
Rig Veda, seventh
yes,
mandala.
it is a Rig Veda. Yeah, yes, in Rig Veda we have totally 10 books or 10 mandalas, and each mandala has various suktas. So this mandala is specifically the seventh mandala, and the hymn or the sukta is the 95th hymn of the Rig Veda. Its composer is said to be Vasishtha Rishi, who is considered to be one among the Sapta Rishis. Again, somebody will say, how can you say Sapta Rishis? You should not call them him like this, or this is just considered, is what I said. I'm not an authority. I'm actually in Marathi there is a word for fool. It is called Veda. So, which is similar to Veda, but not exactly. So I am using the authority of a Veda to speak about the Veda. That is all I can tell you. So you don't have to consider this, but I would say you to try to experience. That will be the really enjoyable part if we can connect directly. So this seventh mandala, 95th hymn, that is what we are going to look at. All the truths of Rig Veda, I mean, the Rig Vedic suktas are just one only, but that one truth is so vast, so wide. Sri Aurobindo described it in a trinity: Satyam, Rutam, Bruhat. Three, three words which come together. Satya. Satya is that highest truth. Ritam is that what we can say consciousness of that truth. And how is it? It is vast. It is vast and expanding. So the thing is, when somebody realizes something, do they get cranky? Do they start shouting, or do they get like you can see frustration, or we see silence? We see the silence because of the vastness of that truth. They try to experience that. They go deeper and deeper, and this is that truth that the Vedic rishis achieved. So Saraswati is that river which is flowing. Now we look at this particular sukta. It has totally around six, we can say six verses only. We will just look at that and then try to see what I have. I think the same thing has been mentioned in the literature also that has been provided to everybody. You can have a read there also. Our aim right now in this session is not just mere reading, but we would like to take the advantage of our company, which we are all, everybody is experienced, everybody has different faculty from different faculties, everybody has what we can say a knowledge base. So what we're trying to do is we're going to share what we know. So we'll try to understand better. So now we look at these six verses one by one. The first one, Prakshodasa Dhayasa Sasra Esha Saraswati Dharuna Mayasi Pohu Prabha Badhana Ratyeva Yati Vishwa Apo Mahina Sinduranyaha. Sanskrit is, I'm also not an expert in Sanskrit, but let us look at the English rhythmic rendition. So we'll try to understand or piece together. Saraswati streaming in a gush, strong as a metal fort, offers with her waters nourishment and support. On a chariot onwards the oceanic one goes, surpassing all the streams, she verily flows. Now, I'll repeat it once more so we can just try to look at it again. Saraswati, streaming in a gush, strong as a metal fort, offers with her waters nourishment and support. On a chariot, onwards the oceanic one goes, surpassing all the streams, she verily flows. So if you look at this only, she is called strong as a metallic fort, and she is said to be surpassing all the streams. She's said to be better than all the streams. And she's flowing, flowing like as if on a chariot, and she's going where? Towards the ocean. And what is she offering? She's offering water, nourishment, and support. If this is seen by what we can say a Western Indologist, see, Saraswati is just a river. These people are all worshippers of river. There's no symbolism, there's no meaning. Suddenly they got excited looking at a river and composed the sukta. They're very happy in dismissing its symbolism. But if you look at this sloka also, if you see slightly, you will see this. Why is this Saraswati said to go towards the ocean? Why is she so strong? Why is she better? Better than all the other streams. Now, streams are streams. Some streams might have a greater pravaha. Some people say, no, at that time, in the Rigvedic time, the pravaha of that stream was more than everybody, and then it disappeared. But if you ask for archaeological evidence or any other evidence for such a claim, they will not give you. But if you look at, we are now not looking at it from the view of a stingy Western Indologist, but we are looking as trying to understand what could be the inspiration behind the verse. So, what could you think we can draw? Why is Saraswati so unique? Means, what does it indicate? This Saraswati is different from other streams. Isn't it very obvious?
Strong.
From
Yes, ji? Yes, Dr. Poonamji?
Oh,
Oh,
just
no,
that.
no
Oh, it
problem. Yeah, you can say.
was, it's strong. It's very
Yeah.
strong, and it's better than any other stream. Whatever is coming on our way, and it's offering
Hmm.
some water, nourishment, and support. So
Yeah.
it's nourishing everyone whosoever is coming in her path, and providing
Yeah.
knowledge. I presume that she's providing
Yes,
knowledge.
yes. So this is yes. Absolutely.
So
And this is going up to the ocean, meaning we see the symbolism of ocean is very common in
yeah,
Sanatan scriptures, isn't it? Our world is only called a ocean. In the Gita, if you see Mrityu Sansara Sagara, this life itself is a sagar, is an ocean of life and
it
death.
is
And the divine Krishna takes us through it according to the means this aspect of going towards the ocean, it's actually a very clear symbolism we can see here. So I think Poonamji has said it, and I don't think anybody has any objection or doubt. If you have, you are welcome. Please, this is not like you have to listen. If you do not agree, you are welcome to a question. But let us continue to the next shloka. एका चेतत् सरस्वती नदीनां शुचिर्यति गरिभ्य आसमुद्रात् रायश्चेतन्ति भुवनस्य भूरेर्धृतं पयो दुदुहे नाहुषाय. Among the rivers, as if the first was not clear, among the rivers, from the mountains to the ocean, Saraswati's alone is the conscious fluid motion, providing her milk and richness aplenty. She nourishes all the living in her vicinity. Now, if somebody had some doubt at Poonamji's explanation of this, that it has symbolism of knowledge, I think in this verse it becomes very, very clear, crystal clear, that see, among the rivers from the mountain to the ocean, means there is no other river like this. There is no other river like Ma Saraswati. And what is so special? She is conscious in her flow. Hers is alone. Means her flow alone is like what we can say, a conscious fluid motion. Eka Chetat Saraswati. Among all nadis, Saraswati alone has that conscious flow. Another clear symbolism of this is a river of consciousness, a stream. Let's just like how the Hippocrene stream came out from the hoof of the horse, striking the what we can say bolder. Just like that, this Saraswati also, this stream is not just a physical stream, she is much more. She is a stream of consciousness. It's so clear. It's so clear. We don't have to have a deep knowledge also of Sanskrit to understand the symbolism here. Let us go closer. The next shloka. And one more point is she nourishes all the ones in her vicinity. Now, Sri Aurobindo is going to describe the powers of Mother Saraswati. So that time we will see if it is again in light of the Vedas or not. He has described it. And here the role of Mother Saraswati is what? Is she selecting? No, she is not selective. She's everybody in her vicinity gets benefited. Everybody is receiving the nourishment, like a mother who is pampering everyone. She is nourishing them and she is providing her richness and her milk. Again, what is this? This is that divine nectar of knowledge. Let's continue. Sava vrudhe naryo yoshanasu vrusha sheshur vrushabho yagniyasu savajinam मध्वद्यो दधाति vi satye tanvam mamrujita. The male power grew amidst the feminine presence, and from the sacrifice grew a child of fertile essence. To the accomplished ones, he offers his metal and cleanses his body for the victory in battle. Now here you see suddenly there's now this is clear symbolism. It cannot be just talking about some river. There's a child now. There's a child which is born somewhere. And this is what happens when somebody tries to, justify and stretch a meaning and try to call it. Now, if you call it a river, you'll have to call it a river throughout the sukta, no? You cannot say that it is suddenly the river has now ceased to remain a river and has become a person or is a conscious living entity. And this is exactly what we see. A power, this can have multiple interpretations actually. And if you see a male power growing amidst the feminine presence, and from the sacrifice grew a child of fertile essence. It's from this yajna. From the yajna, what is yajna? Yajna is a sacrifice. Sacrifice in the sense it can be the yajna or the ritual yajna also. But I think we all know of various aspects of sacrifices, isn't it? Sacrificing in life, we have all made some sacrifices, yes or no?
Yes.
But sacrifice means losing something, no?
Mm.
So how can sacrifice lead to growth?
Just like a seed sacrifices its form to
Ah,
sprout into a plant,
okay.
so it is like uh, you give something of your old self, you drop something of your old self, and
Okay, so
you
that
grow,
is,
you evolve into something else.
but you
I mean,
lose your old self, no?
yes,
But you lose your old
Instead
self.
of losing, can we call it
sacrifice.
transform?
Okay, fine. Reshma ji is correcting, is saying yes, we shouldn't use the word losing, we should call it transforming. Reshma ji is also agreeing, is it?
Yes,
Yes? All
yes,
right. Yes, but now if we go back to the sacrifices that we have made in life, I think each of us must have made definitely, because Krishna has said this world is running on sacrifice only. Nityam yagne pratishtitam. It is an eternal sacrifice taking place. But now, sacrificing, did it make us better than what we are because of the sacrifices we made? While doing the sacrifice, it looked very painful or it looked bad. You don't know. Even if you ask a student, he says, "Oh, I have exam tomorrow. I can't go and play with my friends today. I have to sacrifice my playtime." So, what is this? This is losing something. But when it is done as a yajna for something, for a higher cause, it grows.
Yes.
You grow. You become better. You evolve. And the entire system of the Rig Veda is connected with the sacrifice only, which is the yajna. It starts with, means if you see a basic Agnihotra yajna also, Agnya Swaha Agnya Idan na Mama. Idan na Mama. Not me. Offering to the divine. This aspect of sacrifice is for growth only. And here a power we can say, a power in the human side, a human consciousness has started growing. Where? In the presence of what? Which feminine presence? Feminine presence of this divine goddess only. And what happened? That child has grown because of the fertile essence that the child has received. From where has this child received it? Again, from the Saraswati. So that is the second aspect. And then, what does the child do? The child of Saraswati. Does he keep writing poems? Because he's got inspiration, lots of inspiration. No,
Cleanses.
here, cleanses. Yes, yes, yes. Cleanses his body for the victory in battle. The final victory has to be achieved. What is that final victory? It is the victory over
The truth.
darkness,
The truth.
of
The
ignorance.
darkness. Yeah.
Yes, that is the victory. Young Sant Jnaneshwar, or also called Mauli, how did he beautifully say it? He said, Duritanche timira jao. Means in the bad doers, let the timir or the tama or the darkness disappear. That would be the final victory. It would not be slaying somebody else, which will give the only ultimate victory. Victory would be when that person loses what is wrong, what is ignorant inside of that person, then that person will get transformed. So this here, this child is getting ready. And he is also offering his strengths which he has received from the divine. Means that Pegasus also was respected by the poets because it's a gift from the gods. And the hero rides on the Pegasus to slay one titan in the story in the Greek mythology. But let us continue with Saraswati's. What is so here again? Symbolism very very clear. We're not talking about just a river. We're talking about that divine Saraswati. Let's continue. The fourth what? Fourth, what we can say. The fourth verse. उतस्या नः सरस्वती जुषाणोप श्रवत्सुभगा यज्ञे अस्मिन् मितज्ञुभिः नमस्यैर्याना रायायुजा चिदुत्तरा सखिभ्यः. So, what is this Saraswati doing? Saraswati is offering a special favor to her sakhis or her comrades. What is it? Let us see. May Saraswati be delighted and pay heed as we approach her in sacrifice and plead. With bent knees, our reverence, when we offer, her kinship is granted for her comrades to prosper. Again, very, very clear here. What is this Mother Saraswati here? What is she doing? Well, it is saying, Ma Saraswati, please be happy. See, we have done the right thing. We are bowing now. We are approaching to you in sacrifice. We are praying, we are pleading, we are bending our knees and offering what? Reverence. And what does she give in return for that offering? Her kinship, her companionship, her association is granted for her comrades. Why? To prosper. One friend of mine had told me one very nice statement. He said, don't worship Saraswati, worship Mother Lakshmi. You need more wealth. You don't need this, too much of knowledge is not required. Now, my question is, what do you think is this kinship of Mother Saraswati? What does it offer? Anybody, if we can just think about it, how would our life be different if Mother Saraswati's touch is there?
In
Just
the
something. Yes,
symbolism,
Rachna ji.
in the
Yeah.
symbolism that
Okay.
you had shown on the screen, in that
Yeah.
it is Saraswati herself who is melting into the waters, and as it flows, you can see there is greenery. The mountains are all green. There are flowers. There is everything is being nourished along the way. So she is melting into the waters, turning into grass or trees or the fruits on the trees or the birds are drinking the water. So basically, Saraswati, once somebody has she has given her grace, or she is her kinship rather. It just shows that she is part of you now. It's not a goddess and mm, a devotee sort of relationship, but that person himself or
Hmm.
herself will become as wise as the goddess, or I
Okay.
can't express it better.
Okay,
Like,
Rashmi. But
there are
is it
two
necessary
words
that
in
it
this.
need not be? Is it necessary that devotee relation need not be there?
Ultimately, in the ultimate truth, it is soham uh, asmi. I mean,
Yeah.
tattvamasi. That is,
Okay.
I am he. That is the ultimate. So as we
Yes.
go on evolving, you that is the ultimate. That is the ultimate place that
But
we come
here
to
we
at
are
the end of
talking
the
about
devotion.
bending the knees. We are talking about bending the knees. We're asking, please be appeased. Please accept our reverence.
But it can also be seen as, when you bend the knees, then you're bending to with reverence to knowledge. It is not bending to anything
Yeah.
but the truth. You're bending your
Yeah.
uh, your ego is
Yeah.
is
Yes.
not important
Absolutely.
anymore. Now it is the knowledge
Yes.
that is
Yes.
important, and you are reverent towards that truth. That is the
Ji.
bending.
Okay. Okay. All right, Rachnaji. Anybody would like to add something to what Rachnaji has shared?
Yeah,
Yes, Reshmaji?
yeah.
Vidya
Just want to
Vidya
add
Vinayana
the
Shobhate. That is a
Sorry. Yeah, Reshmaji, you were saying something?
yeah.
yeah,
Somebody
doc,
else was saying so.
Okay, it was Dr.
Vidya
Vaishali.
Vidya Vinayana Shobhate. That is.
Okay, Vidya Vinayana Shobhate. Again, Vidya Dadati Vinayam. With Vidya, you get humility. Humility is, if you see this aspect, that's a wonderful point Dr. Vaishalji has read. Yes, Reshmaji, you were adding something.
Yeah, exactly. Now the prosperity which this particular point is talking about is certainly beyond material prosperity.
Yeah.
And as she said, it
But
is
if,
not
does
just
that
Vidya,
mean
but
that because it is beyond material prosperity, every Vedic seeker must become a Sudama only?
no, see, it is when I'm saying beyond material prosperity, the best possible material manifestation comes into picture in this. It is material
Okay.
prosperity and then beyond.
So something
So
perfect, you would say some perfection in
exactly,
the.
exactly. Perfection,
Okay.
perfect.
All right. Okay. Yes, Ji.
Perfect
So,
in all aspects, be it material, be it strength, be it power, wisdom.
hmm.
Perfect in
Okay.
every sense, every sense.
So this is what the
Knowledge,
kinship of Mother Saraswati is offering, isn't
yeah,
it?
the aspects we can,
Yes.
her, her various aspects or her different forms.
Hmm.
Her
Okay.
kinship
Okay.
is
So
granted. So
so her kinship would actually make mean somebody like me who is having always every time slip of the tongue is happening and suddenly slip of tongue stops because that is the touch. There is a touch of Master Saraswati. And this aspect, why is the Rishi, Vashishta Rishi, he is speaking about bending. Means this aspect of bowing, offering obeisance to the divine. It is seen in so many places. There is one more place in the Rig Veda, which is called where there is one more sukta between Indra and Agastya, where Indra is having a dialogue. There also Indra calls Agastya his comrade. And Indra has suddenly appeared in front of Agastya because Agastya has been in one force of reaching that highest consciousness. So much is that force that he has decided I need to bypass Indra only. And there Indra comes in between, saying that, comrade, you have now bypassed me. And then Indra immediately here Agastya realizes, ki, oh no, I have to bow to you. I have to bow to you because through you only I will be able to reach. Because this aspect of when we bow, we need to have an Aradhya, we need to have a Ishta, we need to have a Guru, we need to have some place, one place where our head can touch the ground.
Yeah, as
Arjuna
she
in
said,
front of,
as Rachna ji said, it is like
yeah,
when we bow, we are actually trying to put our egos aside, and I
yeah.
mean, when we don't bow, it means that there is some ego definitely within.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tukaram also, he says, Divyatvachi jeti prachiti tethe karam majhe zarurati. My hands bow. My hands become what we can say in that Anjali posture where they are now ready to pray, to, you know, plead immediately. So this is something this Rishi is talking about, that she is recognizing the sincerity of the appeal of a seeker, and then she grants to that seeker, whoever it is. We will see later. Actually, somebody had told me yesterday that it was very abstract initially, the first verse, first session. But it is, I think we have to set up a ground before we enter, and I can assure you that what Sri Aurobindo has written about the four powers, it is so clear, so simple, so precise that we will start visualizing all four Devis around us in our life, their presence, their roles. But initially, when we are looking at something like this, when we are looking at Ved, we are trying to quickly look at our Shastras, there will be some amount of abstract, but it's okay. Let us try. Even if it is little abstract, we can always get some concrete things out of it also. So let us see. So we continue. The fifth one. Ima juhvana yushmada namobhihi pratistomam saraswati जुषस्व तव शर्मन् प्रियतमे दधाना उप स्थेयाम sharanam न वृक्षम्. Offered in your obeisance, may you verily accept this hymn, O Saraswati, chanted in your respect. Places in your refuge, become our protector, as under a tree may we be in your shelter. This has broken any logic of Saraswati just being only a stream. Because entering into a river, somebody says you go for taking bath in the river, but you're not going to get shelter inside of a river, are we? Will the river become like a tree and give us shade? It's not possible at all. So this is very clear this way. Means the fact that it is so silly that there are still people who try to claim that Vedic suktas are barbaric creations of nature worshippers, or it is for these are all. It's absolutely silly, and that is why people stay away from Vedic suktas because the
Unfortunately.
symbolism is of Saraswati, Vedic suktas of Ma Saraswati in specific. Because here the symbolism is crystal clear. It is talking about this divine Saraswati being the force of inspiration also. So here, offered in your obeisance, may you verily accept this hymn, O Saraswati, chanted in your respect. Places in your refuge, become our protector. As under a tree, may we be in your shelter. Now, why is this being offered? This hymn is being offered, meaning your words, no? Your words also are a part of sadhana. What you speak, how you speak. If you see, there is in the Gita the tapa, tapasya are of different types. There is one tapa which is connected with the tongue also. What you speak, vak tapa. And here, this Rishi has composed a beautiful hymn and he's offering it with love to the mother. And he says, Ma Saraswati, please accept this. Please accept this offering which I have sincerely given to you. Give me your shelter. Who has got the shelter of Ma Saraswati? All the poets of Sanatana Dharma. They always begin with invocations to the mother only. Vyasa, who was powering the genius, mystic genius of Vyasa? Again, it is the grace of Saraswati. Everywhere we recognize the presence with that only. And so here, this Rishi is also saying, Ma, please give that shelter, give me that refuge under your shelter, so may I grow. And it's also a protection. I think we all remember our mothers when we were very young. We could go hide behind our mother also. No matter which danger is there in the world, it does not matter. You can hide behind your mother. That is the biggest protection. This is exactly what this Rishi is also feeling when he is invoking Ma Saraswati. Now
So
comes the last sukta, last verse of this sukta.
could be
And please feel free to stop me if anybody has
yeah.
any
I
query.
have a small
Yes,
thing
sir.
on I have a small thing on the word refuge. Would it also
Hmm.
mean surrender to Ma Saraswati over
Yeah,
here?
yeah, yeah.
I'm saying I'm
Yes,
totally
yes, yes.
surrendering
We
to
have
you.
to
Take care.
surrender. Yes, 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 yes. Because when you surrender only, then you can be taken care of,
Okay.
isn't it? Otherwise,
Yeah.
we are what they call Trishanku state. Not here, not
Not
there.
there.
You are not even surrendered also, and you are not in a state of non-surrender also. Means how Krishna says, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. When you surrender, he says, I will take you across. But that does not mean he wants you to surrender so his ahankar gets satisfied. A lot of people try to do very funny interpretations of the Gita. But his surrendering is a surrendering of the ahankar and surrendering everything to the divine. Meaning you are ready for it. Best is if you have if you have to go and give a speech somewhere, or if you want to do some work which requires learning, best experience of Ma Saraswati would be surrender to the mother. This is a subject I don't like at all. I am now surrendering to you. Please give me give me grace. Let me move ahead, and you will be surprised what how you are going to learn. You'll be able to learn much more. So let us see now. Let us continue. I think that was a great point shared by Raghunandan ji. So let us continue. अयमुते सरस्वती वसिष्ठो द्वारावृतस्य सुभगे व्यावहा वर्धशुभ्रे स्तुवते रासि वाजान यूयम पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः. Vashishta opened. O divine Saraswati, be pleased. Closed doors were opened so you may be appeased. In the singer, shine brighter and further grow. With your blessings to the highest states may we go. Now, one more thing I want to just tell you what I have given is a oversimplification of the Vedic verse. This is just one, we can say, interpretation. But if you look at the deeper meanings inside of every Sanskrit root word, you will go in 100 different directions because that is the beauty of the consciousness that is embedded in the root words. But still, even in this, you see, if you see, look at the Sanskrit words also, they are pretty interesting here. You see, the dwaras have been opened. What are these doors that have been opened? Which door was locked? Which has been opened? Vasishta is claiming, he says, who has opened it? He says, Vasishta only has opened it. Meaning what? He locked the door, he opened the door. What is he doing? Well, Vasishta opened. Oh, divine Saraswati, be pleased. Close doors so you may be appeased. In the singer or the chanter, shine brighter and further grow. With your blessings to the highest states may we go. Means this is very clear. The blessing of Ma Saraswati is going to raise your consciousness. It is going to take you higher. Before we go, what is higher or what consciousness? There's something very material here. Doors have been opened. We open doors when we somebody rings the bell. That's simple as that. Now, what door is Vasishtha talking about? Which door? Is it a door inside of the river, or is it underneath, or what is it? Anybody, can you tell me what could be this door that Vasishtha Rishi is talking about? And he's taking it, he's actually, with happiness and enthusiasm, he is sharing it with the mother and saying, I have opened the doors. Now you will also be happy. I've done something good. I have opened these doors. So now enter and grow. What is the meaning of this? Anybody?
The latent talents have been expressed by her
Okay.
grace.
Okay, this is interesting. Vinitaji is saying latent talents have been expressed. This is actually one more aspect in sadhana. When a person goes ahead, unknown faculties also, or faculties which are not present in you, suddenly start appearing. So that is a lot of truth in what Vinitaji has said. Yes, Raghunandanji? Yes, sir?
Closed doors, I feel, sometimes it is our ignorance, our
Hmm.
lack of knowledge, which we have been trying to get.
Okay.
I mean, I mean, from a very simplistic child who wants knowledge in his class to the
Hmm.
most
Yeah.
great ascetic who is looking
Advanced.
for the advanced knowledge, the
Hmm.
knowledge is required at every stage. And Ma Saraswati, I mean, even for a child would help him to open up at that level what he needs. And to the main great sages who are trying to go into self-realization, consciousness, that highest planes, there also she would support. So I think Vashishta is trying to say that the mother's
Yeah.
benevolence will help us all.
And he has got some secret, some key, and he says, I've opened the doors.
Yeah.
He is happily saying, yeah, I have opened it. Means you see, in when we are studying, when we are learning something
Yeah.
like we do a prayer for Saraswati, we also pray to Ganesha. The reason the prayer is made to Ganesha is because Ganesha is said to be at the dwara of wisdom. He is there. He is the one. And he decides, he opens those doors, you will receive that wisdom. And this Vasishta is also saying, ki, I have opened the doors. I have done that part. Now you have to do your part. And what is the part of the Mother Saraswati here? Now the part of Mother Saraswati is just this, that she has to, you know, shine brighter, grow further. She has to enter into that singer who is chanting, who has made this sukta. It need not be just the person who is chanting a particular sukta in a particular chanda. It can also mean any upasak who has now surrendered completely and who has taken one more step ahead. Because then the doors of higher consciousness are opened. Somebody says, what doors? Are there really any doors? Everything is what I see with my eyes, what I feel. But I think we all know, isn't it? Our senses are limited. There are realms which we don't understand. There are realms which are beyond what we can say our own sensory perception. We don't see infrared, we don't see ultraviolet. Does not mean it does not exist. Infrasonic, ultrasonic does not, uh, you know, appear to our ears. They cannot hear it. But does not mean it again, it's not there. Same with our other indriyas, whether it's the touch or whether it's taste or whether it's the smell, all of it has some limitations. But there is something higher, and that is the higher consciousness. Look at all our scriptures, that is what the rishis try to ask us to. Come on, rise, rise higher. Low aim is a crime according to all of them, and they give us the highest aim. What is that? Paramatmaham, Paripurnoham, Parat Paroham, Kevalaham. I am that supreme. That realization must be got by whom? Not that person or this person who is living in that apartment. No, every single person who is there. Each person must realize their divine essence and what is their purpose. So here that we have to rise beyond the conscious of the senses. Indriyani paranya horindriyabha param manaha manasastu para buddhi yo buddhe paratastu saha in the Gita. The highest is that supreme consciousness. If you look at Upanishads also, they talk about faculties like I think Vinita ji shared, means unknown faculties, where you start as you go ahead, your consciousness rises, you start getting hints, you start getting glimpses, intuitive glimpses also suddenly. What was the Kavi? Kavi is there in the first sukta of the Rig Veda only. Uh, He is the Kavi. Agnir Hota, Kavi Kratu. Agni is called the Kavi, Agni is called the doer also. Now, what is the fire doing? Is the fire writing a poetry on a no, fire is create this fire is a fire of aspiration inside of a human being, as Sri Aurobindo has said. And that fire is the one that is pushing or making, giving that energy, urja to go forward. And that is why it's called the Kavi and the Kratu. Or if we look at other places in the Upanishad, there's Kavi, Manishi, Paribhu, and Swayambhu, highest state of oneness. So this entire symbolism, if we see, we must recognize this much that yes, there is a symbolism. Why we looked at all of it is because before we suddenly look at only the practical aspect, we need to understand what is behind the practical aspect also. Means what we can say, one is a Vyavaharik Satya, which is always important for transaction. Otherwise, we don't understand that, it will become a big problem. But before that, we also have to understand what is the Param Satya or the Paramarthik Satya or the highest truth. And that is why we want to first establish that yes, there is this divine goddess, there is the divine mother whom we can approach. Why should we approach? Well, our mother is so great, that is why we have to approach her. It is as simple as that. First, we have to recognize the what we can see the greatness of the divinity. We have to learn that there is requirement to bow. Somebody says, I do not bow. The divine will just say, go. I don't care. Divine will go on. No, the marga will go on for everybody. But how you live your life, it makes a lot of difference. And this is not for the divine that we are. God does not have some divine social media network where he's trying to show I have these many followers I have gained because so many people are bowing. I will keep telling everybody to keep bowing. That's a little crazy. If at all there is a God which wants more number of followers, we can say we will unsubscribe from your network. But this divine is present, omnipresent, but we have to rise to that consciousness. Without bowing, we will not rise. So, if we want to establish one important aspect before we start understanding the divine, the first approach to the divine is by bowing, by surrendering, by doing what we call the namaskarams. Why? Because without that, nothing is possible. Adhyatmic sadhana also cannot begin. That is why Krishna in the Gita also waited for Arjuna to waited for Arjuna to realize that he is in absolutely bad situation. He could have started the Gita before. He could have told anything, anytime, but he waited. He waited because Arjuna in the first adhyaya is only talking about see Krishna. This is what this is. This is Varna Sankara, Kulakshaya, Mitra Droha. So many such things. He said this will lead to Papa. This will lead to this destruction. This will lead to tragedies, etc., etc. Then he even asked Krishna, "Were you also greedy like all of us for making this battle?" It was all obnoxious questions he was asking, and Krishna did not respond. He kept on speaking, venting out. We can say somewhere that Vinamrata was missing and he was not having the adhikara to receive the wisdom, even from his dear friend, even from his guru, because the adhikara was not there, because Vinamrata was not there. I think it was Dr. Vaishali ji who said Vidya Vinayana Shobhate. So that was required. And when did this come to Arjuna? When all his energies got lost. He had lost everything, everything. Last ounce of energy was over. And then he says, the hero who was so powerful, his name was Mahabahu. He says, Karpanya doshopahata swabhava. I'm afraid, he says. I'm afraid I don't know what to do. पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेतः यत् श्रेयः स्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. I am Shishya, you are Prapanna, you are well endowed with all the truths. You have to teach me because I don't know what is right. I'm afraid also. A hero does not say I'm afraid, and that's such a grown man, warrior, whose entire, what we can say, trade is in fearlessness only. Everything he has been talking about being fearless in his Yodha, that is in his blood. But this person also realizes, and that is where the Bhagavad Gita starts. So the importance of surrender is there, and we see it even in the Vedic Sukta here. The Rishi is reminding again and again that you have to surrender to the divine. So if our workshop is on the approachable divine mother, we will approach the divine mother in the light of what Sri Aurobindo has told. Sri Aurobindo has identified three approaches that we will look at it next. But before we approach, the first and foremost thing is we'll have to surrender. But the question is surrendering to the mother like surrendering to an enemy? Is it the same? If yes, yes, why? Or if not, why not?
No,
Anybody?
indeed.
Why not Reshma ji?
So surrendering to the enemy, we get killed, and surrendering to the mother, we live and progress.
We live. We'll get what we can say skilled, maybe more skilled by her grace.
Oh my.
Okay.
Like, I think it is foolishness when we think of ourselves as separate, because a drop cannot, tell the ocean that I will never be part of you. I am
Okay.
my own.
Okay.
Uh, where are you your own? You automatically you will merge into the ocean. There is
Okay.
nothing like separate.
Okay. So this is definitely one of the most important things. So this is surrendering to the divine is, but what if I think I am not different from my enemy and try to become one with my enemy? What's going to happen if I surrender to the enemy, Rachna ji?
Uh, Surrender to the enemy means surrender to the
Destruction of yourself. No, absolutely. Your personality, your aspiration, everything will be lost. But when you are surrendering to the mother, I think if we look at it as a, yes, Raghunandaji wants to add something, is it? Yes, sir.
See, I think surrender has to be understood in a very different concept in the Vedic line and not from a English literature.
Okay.
So if I were to remove Webster's dictionary, Oxford dictionary, and say no, that is not the surrender I'm talking about, then the
Ah,
surrender has a different meaning.
ji.
So when we look at from a very Vedic and even not even Vedic, I would say even from a very simplistic religious perspective, when we go to a temple, when we go to somewhere, we surrender. We say that we drop our ego. That is the most important thing for us when we are going to go for such a very, I mean, when we want higher things in life, we have to drop these small things on the way, this ego of ours, our desires, and that's not possible unless we totally surrender to the divine. And that
Yes.
type of surrender is not the same as the surrender which you are talking, because that is a pure English grammar surrender.
Yeah.
You are fighting a war which is there. That is a different surrender.
So what will
So I
the
wouldn't.
enemy do if you surrender? Will the enemy accept you? Yeah, I now give you shelter.
It has happened in history. So I mean that's a different thing.
Huh.
So Alexander accepted the surrender of his enemies.
Okay.
So that is possible. I mean, history. That's again I'm saying, like, history is not the same as what we are talking today. That
Okay.
surrender and this surrender is not the same.
So they are not the same at all.
They're two
And
totally two different
totally
surrenders.
contrasting aspects.
Absolutely. They
So,
don't
so
make.
we can say Tameva Sharanam Gaccha as Sarva Bhavena Bharata is what Arjuna is being told by
Yeah.
Krishna. Means all bhava, every way, in every single way, Arjuna, you surrender to the divine. This aspect of surrendering to the divine is actually like, you're surrendering what? All your incapacities, your weaknesses,
Yeah.
all of that, so it can get transformed into something higher. So if we want to do an upasana of the divine, first thing we want to approach the mother, we will first have to learn to take the Sharana. Without Sharanagati, it is not possible. And any marga, if you see in every spiritual journey, whichever marga it is, if you see even Buddhism, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam, they ask you to surrender to three, Dhamma also and Sangha also. The entire Buddham, Dhammam and Sangam also. Because the Sharanam is the first thing. Yes, Dr. Poonamji wants to add something? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just one thing came to my mind when we are surrendering. Are we surrendering only our weakness or even our strength? So complete
Everything.
surrender
With
means
complete surrender.
complete surrender
Complete.
means I'm
Yes.
nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm nothing
Absolutely.
and you are
And you are
everything.
in a safe place actually here when you surrender. No, it is the safest place. Divine, in the shelter of the divine. You can
Yes,
be taken care of completely. Like a child is in the lap of the mother. Nothing to worry, isn't it? Everything is going to be taken care of. So
the two.
yes, with
Yeah.
yes, ji? Yes,
Yes.
Poonamji, last what were you saying?
Yes. Same thing. Yeah. I
Ah,
understand.
Yes, yes. So we can play, we can learn, we can grow, and I think if we develop the consciousness of the child towards the Divine Mother, then I think it's going to be very, very simple. We have a author of a book called A Child Among Us. I would request the author to speak a few words on this and we conclude today's session. Yes, Usha Maji. Yes, please. She has written a beautiful book called The Child. Yes, if you can unmute.
Yes,
Yes, yes, ji.
it is about the child, and that is exactly the thing. You just surrender, and the child comes to you.
Okay. So here it is actually she's surrendering to a child. She has seen the divine as a child and she feels that Bala Rupa is very nice for her. It reminds her of probably her grandchildren. And that bhava of surrender as a surrendering to a child also is giving her a lot of interesting experiences. So
Oh, yes,
maybe we
and
will ask.
the
Huh,
child always says, I am a child because you called me as a child.
okay.
Otherwise, I am timeless.
Okay. Yes, ji. Thank you, Maji. So I think with this we are ready to conclude our session today. If anybody would like to just summarize a few points that we saw today so that we look at it. And then next we would look at actually what Sri Aurobindo has talked about, three approaches to the mother. And after that, we will look at what are the four powers of the mother, one power at a time. If it may take 2, 3 sessions also for some of the I think Saraswati's would be the longest. I think Mahalakshmi's is I think the longest. Yes, please. So anybody, if you can summarize some of the points that we saw. We saw one Vedic Sukta actually, and one ancient Vedic Sukta by Vashishta Rishi in ode to Vedic Saraswati. So yes, please. Anybody, if you can summarize a few things, that will be wonderful. And we conclude our session with a Shanti mantra after that. Yes, please. Anybody?
We had the symbolism uh, about Pegasus and compared it with the symbolism of Saraswati as in our Vedas. And then we studied the Suktam, uh, which shows us that it's not in the Vedas, Saraswati is not talked about only as a river, as is thought about, but it is much deeper that Saraswati is uh, Saraswati is
I think Rachnaji's screen froze. Okay, so anybody would like to take? Yeah, Rachnaji, yes.
Saraswati is the goddess who raises our consciousness, and it is by surrendering, by giving the importance to knowledge versus giving the importance to ourself. That is
Okay.
bowing
Yes.
in front of the goddess, surrendering to the goddess so that her wisdom may flow through us.
Uh,
Uh,
yes. Yes.
her wisdom may flow through us, and and the two important words were kinship and as comrades, like we become her kin. That is, she
Yes.
takes care of us as her own,
Huh.
or rather, it's like a home where she
Yeah.
is there. And when you do something, then it is it is something which is uh, I can't say wrong or right, but it will be the wise thing to do,
G.
which will whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
it will be it will be helpful to, it will be nourishing to everybody around you.
Yes, yes, that was wonderful. Yes, ji, absolutely. So this kinship, this friendship, this oneness, this is all there even in the Vedic suktas also. God loving is always better than God fearing. First adhyay, I mean first sukta also. Sanapiteva sunavegne supayano bhava sajasvana swastaye. Means sanapiteva sunavegne. Oh Agni, let me approach how I approach my Pita. And of course, this sometimes father-son fights are there. This is not the father-son fight taking place in the Rig Veda. Here he's saying, I can easily approach you without any sankocha or without any doubt or without any worry. I don't need to seek an appointment to come and meet my own, my friend, my parent, my father, my mother, something like that. That oneness is what we have to probably try to achieve it through the act of surrender. So with this, we conclude our second session of the workshop. I conclude with the Shanti Mantra. And one more thing, our group will remain active as long as the workshop goes on. After the workshop is over, it will become inactive for administrative reasons. So I would say you can make the most of the group. You can actually share insights. Sometimes in various workshops, people share their notes, people have discussions, keeping in mind the community guidelines of respecting everybody, each other. I think we can have some nice, insightful discussions because we have got well experienced people from various fields in this group. So please feel free to use that WhatsApp group during the course of this workshop. All right then, Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्ण वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम so again see you in the next session. Yes please, day after tomorrow, that is Saturday. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you so much.
Thank you ji, thank you. Namaskar.
Hari Om ji, thank you.
Hari Om ji, namaste, thank you. If any queries are there, you are welcome if you have anything to ask or share, or we conclude the session. Right.